It's a nature show. One of my favorite, relaxing, enjoyable things to watch on TV. No, that's not really what I want to show you. I want to show you across the way what's going on. Check out this new positioning of the desk. I'm loving it. Today is a gray, and then the sun comes out and then it gets gray again. So I decided when I came back from my walk that I was going to stay inside with the windows open, even though it's, I don't know, about 85 degrees, but the fan is on. And because the sun's not beating in, it's good. But I really, really like sitting here for a couple reasons. It's cozy in the corner, and I've got all kinds of views. The TV straight across, another view here. And I've been working on photographs, as many of you know, for days and days, weeks and weeks, and now over a month. I am way into a couple projects, and I want to talk to you about them and show you what I'm doing. Hope you'll join me. Linda here, Serene and Simple Life, in my little cozy quarter here. Gotta love this backdrop, huh? This wood, I love this wood. Oh my gosh. It's a beautiful day. Went on my walk, my usual walk. I think probably some of you are catching on now to my routine. Unless you're new, welcome. Went on my almost 2-mile walk, and then I came back and I showered. I don't shower every single time I walk, even though I sweat. Just saying. And yeah, just decided I wanted to show you what's going on here and give you a little backdrop before I start babbling. Now, I know I've done a couple shows with my photographs and showing you folders and organization and favorites and how would I save them and getting them on an external hard drive, a little gadget that connected to my phone. It was supposed to connect to the phone and the laptop to, I don't know, download pictures. I sent that back. That didn't work. That was months ago in a show. Excuse my voice. I've been like having a little tickle in my throat. I just ate some nuts, so maybe that has something to do with it. But so now I know what I'm doing. Whether I can explain it to you is a different story. I have all of my photographs on an external hard drive. This is called a passport. It's connected to my computer. I have over 12,000 photos of my Nomad journey that started back in September of 2018. I went through and organized all these photos into folders by subject matter, topics, and then by date. And then after I sorted them, I created a master folder of 2018 Nomad, 2019, 2020, and 2021. I'm not sure if I have 21 or not. Anyways, I have 3 main folders of my 3 full years. I moved here in November 2021, so a lot of 2021 was, it was Oregon. Oh my gosh, back to Washington. I was in California, and then I came back through Missouri and Kansas, and then back to Kentucky where the cabin was built. So I must have, I have a 21 folder as well. Anyways, So now that they're all organized, I can go into this master folder and I am doing pages in digital albums, which I will have printed into hardbound covers with pages, just like a regular photo album, only they're digital pictures into the pages. I've shown you some of my digital albums before. Do any of you do digital albums? I love them. They're such a space saver. I like hard copy pictures. I understand that for years and years with Creative Memories. It was all about, getting your pictures into scrapbooks, and that was way before the digital age. That was back in 1990. Anyways, Bunny Trail. So now I'm doing these digital books, and I decided after back and forth with you in my brain, oh my gosh, that I have 5 albums, digital albums, that I am going to be doing from the past 3.5 years, 4 years now. The first album is the beginning of my Nomad journey called New Beginnings. And that is where I downsized, I did yard sales, hanging around in Texas while I did craft shows, and then taking off for my first RTR, Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, and meeting new friends. And so that encompasses new beginnings. And I show products that I bought for, first it was Serenity Sedan, which was the car I lived in. And now I've got Happy Haven, which is the SUV. But I'm a picture junkie. I have taken pictures of everything. And so it's a beautiful documentation of new beginnings. That's album number 1. Album number 2 is travels. Now, I had mentioned that I wasn't going to do something in a chronological order. And that I was just going to do major rest areas and major beauty that I saw. I don't know exactly what I said back then, but I've decided I'm going to do my travels starting with 2019, 20, and 21. And right now I'm in September of 2020 after working on these 2 books that I've just mentioned to you, the travels and the new beginnings. And the travels will be called Living Life Large, Go, See, Do, which many of you know is my mantra. And I have that on t-shirts and totes and coffee mugs. And it's really fun. You can find those links in the description. So those are the 2 books that I'm currently working on, and then I have at least 3 more after that. I am going to do my visits with my grand sweet peas in a separate, personal, loving album, and I may even make copies for them too, to enjoy, personalizing each one for the 3 separate grandchildren. So I'm going to do those albums. I consider that one subject. That'll be my third album will be the visits with the grand sweet peas. I didn't want to intersperse that with my travels because it's really kind of broken up, and it's always when I'm going back to Texas or when I was going to California, when I gave Serenity Sedan to my son. So going to keep that as a separate subject. And then the 4th one is going to be the journey, looking for land and having the tiny cabin built. So instead of weaving in all that where I was going through Tennessee, I did 2 power tours, and you can find those in the playlist of looking for land in Tennessee. It was October of 2020, and then again in March of 2021 when I started looking for land. It wasn't till April that I decided that I was going to lease and give up the thoughts of owning land in the moment. So now I'm back on that. Hopefully, God willing, that I will be able to go out and purchase land after doing a lot more saving. A lot of saving, a lot of skimping. Anyways, that's another bunny trail. And then the fifth album, I'm not sure about yet, but it's going to be all of those topics that I talked to you about. I showed you how I took over 500 pictures of clouds. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to do an album which is going to be more like a portfolio, if you think of. And it's going to have my things that I love to photograph, which is picnic tables, fences, clouds, trees, flowers, nature, like bunny rabbits and squirrels and all kinds of things that I've seen, sunrises and sunsets. See, those are my benches. I like to take pictures of benches. And that'll be like a portfolio of my favorites that if I ever get into that selling my photographs online or making, I don't know, printing out some and having them framed and going to real live craft shows again, that I'll have this portfolio or this like reference guide that I can go back to know which pictures that I want to find on my external hard drive and print them out, you know, get them professionally printed out, not off of my printer here, and do something extra nice with them. So that's it. We've got the New Beginnings album, which is going to be a great, great tool if I ever get into, I know I talked about it and I really thought I was going to do it, doing car workshops. And what's, you know, held me up was I want to have my book published, and I don't know exactly when that's going to happen yet. I did a video, I don't know, a month ago or so, showing you some editing, and you know, we're looking at fall, if not maybe towards Christmas. I'm not sure. So I don't want to speak too much more about car workshops, except that I know I'll have that book with me, and if I ever meet any of you and you want to look through it and you want to see, you know, up close and personal how this journey evolved, then that'll be a very good a reference tool. Then the travels, you know, that's going to be personal, but it's also going to be like, hey, anybody who wants to look at it, come on over and look at my album. Right now, I think I'm on page like 107. That's like counting the pages, like 1 is the front side, 2 is the back side, 3 front side, 4 back side. 107 so far, and I'm only in September 2020. And some of my massive photo taking was in Oregon. So I took probably over 1,000 pictures in Oregon. I mean, it's just a stunning state. So now I think that's all I wanted to tell you about folders and master folder. And oh, I'm doing some cross-referencing too. I have got a list here. Let me see here. I go into my phone because my laptop is not showing me exactly where the picture was taken. And I had messed with that with you before too. So I go into my phone and it tells me the date and exactly where it is. And I make a list of all the cities, places that I need to create pages of. So currently I am working on Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Well, actually I said September, but it was mid-August after I left Montana. I went to South Dakota. And from South Dakota, then I stayed overnight in Rosebud. And then I went on doing lots of, like, while I was driving, I would pull off along the side, or rest areas or scenic overlooks. And so then I've got like a few pages that I need to do the travels, which is Gray Cliff, Anaconda, where there were sunsets, Teton, Tieton at the end of August, and then Natchez, Washington, and Randall overnight. And then I get to Sandy's house in Silverdale. She's not there anymore. She sold her place. And then we did camping together, and we did a lot of sightseeing, and so then I'll work on those pages. This keeps me on track from page to page, one travel to the next travel, and so I need to get into my phone, and I'm using Mixbook, and I have an app on my phone that I can actually, on my laptop, I can click add photos, and then I go from the phone, and then you scan a little QR code, and it brings up my photos on my phone. It's amazing. And from there, I can like type in Randall, and it'll bring up all my pictures of when I was in Randall. So then I'm cross-referencing between the folders that I made from the massive amount of photos I had in iCloud, organizing them onto my external hard drive. And thankfully, I kept my photos on my phone so I could do cross-referencing, because there were times when I was making folders, for example, where there was a beautiful church. So I made a church folder, and I didn't leave that photo in with that particular, like say, there was a church in Roosevelt National Park. Well, I want to show that church on that travel page, not as a separate page of just churches, which I thought initially I was going to do. So I have to go to my phone and see all of the pictures in, I'm using Randall as an example. It was a city that I traveled through on my way to Washington. Make sure that what I have in my folder on my laptop, which is actually my external hard drive, is where I'm pulling pictures from, that I have the pictures that I want from that particular area in that folder. So I draw them pull them from my phone as well. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe you'll have to listen to me 10 times in order for it to make sense. But yeah, so we're working on a couple different things. We started out in iCloud. We organized pictures. We put them on the external hard drive. We left all of my pictures on the phone. So now when I'm using Mixbook, I can go both to my desktop computer, where my external hard drive shows up for Mixbook. That's the product that I'm using to design these albums. And then I can also pull photos from my phone to make sure that I have exactly what I want to showcase on these particular pages throughout this travel book. So now I'm going to show you just a couple examples. I'm going to get out of the frame here and show you my laptop, what I'm doing. Maybe it'll make a little bit more sense, or maybe it'll just be more confusing. Keep watching. This is very simple to use. Here are the two books that I'm working on, and we're going to go to edit here. This is the first one, 63 pages, and this is the second one, 161 pages, but I'm only on like page 107 right now. So let me show you this one. This is the New Beginnings book. And there's the front cover so far. That's just, to get me going, get me excited. And then over here are the pages. So we'll click on like page number 2. I'll just show you a couple here to begin with. And happy is the new rich. And this is the very beginnings of my nomadic journey. And that's on my dash. And so just some really fun stuff. And then we'll go here and I'll show you a couple more pictures. And there is when I designed my intro for my YouTube, off the treadmill into the great unknown, and we'll just keep going. Gypsy Soul bracelet. This is at the park when I was stationed in Texas, and I have a lot of journaling to do. Now this is getting all my stuff organized to sell, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And quite the story. It's pretty exciting. I'm so excited that here's my piles of organization as I was getting ready to take off. And those are products that I purchased for Serenity Sedan, making my screens. These were my last meals before I took off, because I did not eat ice cream on the road, except maybe once or twice I bought ice cream. So this was like, okay, this is it. This is my last frozen and, you know, heating things up in an oven and all that good stuff. And then this is the storage. And then we go into Andy and all kinds of stuff here. More hanging out at the park and just different things that I was doing. I actually stopped at an exercise class at the Y, and that was really fun. And then we go into doing laundry. These were some very cool things at McDonald's where I hung out and I worked. And then I love donuts, so I was treating myself to some donuts when I first started. This is pretty cool. I've pulled from Facebook some different sayings and have saved them through the years. If you wait until you're ready, you will be waiting the rest of your life. And here's a photo, me and my therapist. You know all those things you always wanted to do, you should go do them. And she couldn't keep her color inside the lines, so she drew new lines. Joy from Christmas time. Faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Yeah. So these are fillers and more work at the libraries and different things that I did. I went to a teddy bear park while I was working. And then I go into more showing, oh my gosh, just the sights. Here's some huge craft shows that I did while I was local in Texas. I would load up my vehicle, go to a craft show, and then go back to storage when the craft show was done. So I actually slept overnight when some of the shows were more than one day. I slept overnight with everything. Well, it was all set up in the vehicle or in the craft show, so I didn't sleep with everything inside. It was a mistake in there. But then we just go on, and here's my first 2019 Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. Some beautiful, beautiful new friends. And then, so you just can see how it just goes on and on. More of the RTR, sunsets, quartzite. And I'm really proud of this. I'm really excited about this. But this gives you an idea of, this was Slab City in California. Went with a friend. Oh my gosh, Salvation Mountain, and then Lake Havasu. And then, yeah, that was a cool. This is, and he's just been back in touch with me. This is Sebastian, who was filming me for a documentary. And just recently back in touch. He's got the funding to finish up the, he's putting a camera on the vehicle. It's crazy. A camera on his and a camera on mine. So he's supposed to be finishing it up come September. And then I don't know how long it takes to get to, you know, and more friends. And just very busy doing nothing. Here's where you get your mind right. And yes, just more of the RTR. And then we finish off Cibola Lake Overlook. These are things that I did when I first got started with friends, craft shows, and then the travels is where I take off on my own. So I've got a lot of journaling to do in that one. So we'll go back up to my projects here and I'll show you the latest one and that I'm editing it right now. Loading editor, so I don't know how long that takes. Aspire to inspire before you expire. That was a somewhere out while traveling. Now I haven't done the cover on this one. And then so now we start off where I'm actually on my own, away from the RTR, and this is really, really the beginnings of seeing all 50 states, which I have Alaska left to go now. Lake Mead National Recreation Area, and this will be a great resource too for the car. And then my first bit of my journey was doing the Mighty Five in Utah, which is the Mighty Five National Parks. And so I'm not going to show you all that. You can just see here, scroll, 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 many, many pages that I've worked on. Let's just randomly pick one. What's this one? Okay, that was in Acadia. And so I have done a little journaling here. I love that font so that I can remember and everything's not running together as I work off of my little cheat sheet. And then we go some more here and scroll, scroll. And now I'm doing at least 3 hours every day. Okay, so this was days off from work. If I wasn't in go-see-do mode, I hung out at Flathead Valley Community College in the shade. Oh my gosh, there was like 90-degree days here. And so here's just a beautiful of some of my hangout, some of the food that I ate while I was just literally hanging out, a haircut that I got while I was working at Walmart. And now we are on to, like I said, Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And that is where you go over here and you add photos. I think I've already added them. And then you upload photos here, and you can add from desktop or you can add from your phone. Very, very simple. And I know this is getting really long, so I want to, we'll just do. Okay, so here is my passport, and these are the National Park, the Roosevelt National Park. And so I select, and then I select them all. And I think I've already done that. And then you click on open and they will all go into your project. So let's go back to editor here. Well, we need to X out of this and we'll go back to editor. So there we are. It took me to the wrong one because I clicked on the wrong thing here. Here we are. And now on a page, I'm on 115. Doing better than I thought. And over here, hide used photos. Right now I've got 1,951 photos in this book, as you can see right up there. And here is Roosevelt National Park. Theodore Roosevelt. Where does it start out? And everything stays in order, so it's really nice. Yeah, this is the beginning right here. And I'm just going to quickly show you that you can go to layouts here. And I already know that I have 52 photos that I selected from my, one thing I didn't show you was my main folders here. So let's go back here. These are all these folders that I had shown you previously. And now I'm basically working off of, here's the Nomad 2019, 20, and 21. Well, before I started this video today, or this show that I like to call them, I went to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Where are you? There it is, 8:20. I click on that, and I have shown you this in a previous show, how I was organizing. And then I view them in the extra large icons, and you can see down here that I have 126 items, and I selected 52 out of this. I go through them, and first of all, I skim through all of them. I just use the arrow and get just a brief overview of them. And then I go through and I click on each one individually, and if I want to save it, of course, you have to hold Control. And then I save them, and then when I'm done, I will do a copy paste, which I've already shown you how to do that. And then I copy and paste them in the folder that I created. So now that we're out of here, back to the layouts, and they give you 10 photos, 12 photos. Knowing that I have 52, I am gonna do 2-page spread of 20. And I'm going to do one page that has 12 on it. I count them ahead of time, so I pretty much have an idea of what layout I need to. And now we'll go back to photos. And this is the fun part. And you can see them again. If you have like 53 photos and you have to eliminate one, you can just hover over it and So here we are, and I just drag and drop. Oh my gosh, it's like therapeutic fun. Drag and drop. So that's what I'll do here. And I'll just keep going. And then when I'm done, I will add text. And I usually copy and paste text from another page. Here I copy pasted from another, and then you highlight it, and I will do Theodore Roosevelt National Park in that box. And then as I move on to different states, I title them at the top with a little bigger font. I think this is a 42, and I'm like using a 28 for the different locations of where I was within the state. So that's it, guys. I'm just going to keep dragging and dropping here, and then I'll do another 20 here, and then I'll select page 117, and we'll go back over to just a little review, go back over to layouts, and I'll use a 12. This is a pretty standard one here. No, not that one. And this is kind of fun too. You can go here to the backgrounds, and I can do a, I don't know, I'll do something dark so you can see it. And then it fills in the background. And so I'll just drag my pictures onto here and do some more titling. So the hardest part was getting these all organized, and once all the photos were organized, we'll just go back here a little bit. There was Kalispell, show you some more. So we're going back here, back. Some of these pages was just literally traveling through, stopping for 15, 20 minutes. This was a park that I spent probably, I don't know, a third of a day at. That was awesome. Elvis birthplace, Louisiana, Big Bend National Park. Oh my gosh, I have 4 pages of that. And so this is all the different beaches and places I went in Texas, so you can see. And New Mexico. So yeah, this girl's been around. And I wish this for you as well. Go see, do. This is truly living life large. This has been a wonderful, beautiful blessing in my life. And I'm so very grateful for this awesome opportunity to travel the country. I know so many people are hurting right now and can't do this. Like when I went out 3 years ago, and I just thank God every day. So there are Indiana Dunes, covering Nebraska. Yep. And then here, so here we are at Nomad 2021, Lakeland when I was working, Missouri, North Carolina, South Carolina, Colorado, Kansas, Oregon. You can see how much more work I have to do here. I would say that it'll probably be, I just stretch it out. I'm not burning through this project like some kind of sense of urgency, because these books are going to cost me probably well over $100 to have printed, and I just don't really have that right now. So I'm going to finish up these albums, Newport, Tennessee, Marblehead, Lakeside. Finish up the albums, and then I'll decide when I'm going to get them printed. Just not sure. Enjoyed this little 101. I may stop for today now, but please subscribe, click the bell, share this with your friends, and put in the comments, do you make digital albums? Or now that you've seen this, are you interested in making some albums of your own? I hope so. I hope this has encouraged you to do something with your photos. Blessings in your day, and joy in your photographs. And I would be remiss not to say, in your travels and in the journey.